Imagine a place so perfect, it feels like your own private dream. A crescent of sand so white, it glows under the sun, meeting water of a turquoise so intense it seems to be lit from within. There are no beach umbrellas for rent, no crowded bars blaring music, no lines for snorkeling tours. There is only the whisper of the wind through the palm fronds, the gentle sigh of the waves folding onto the shore, and the profound, almost overwhelming sense of discovery. This is not a screensaver. This is a real, tangible, reachable place on our planet. And today I am going to do something most travel channels would never dare. I am going to give you not just the dream, but the exact, actionable blueprint to find it yourself. Forget the overcrowded, overpriced tourist traps with names you see on every influencer's grid. The place I am talking about remains off the grid for a very specific set of reasons, a conspiracy of geography, subtlety, and a little bit of deliberate local wisdom that has kept it a secret from the guidebooks. For the next 20 minutes, you are not just a viewer, you are an explorer in training. I'm going to take you on a detailed, step-by-step journey that begins with the fundamental science of why such places even exist, then moves to the precise geographical signatures you must look for on a map, and culminates in the exact journey, complete with the unspoken challenges you must be prepared to face. This is a deep dive into the anatomy of a hidden paradise. To fully embark on this journey with me, I need you to do one thing right now: hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This is not just another travel video, this is a treasure map, and I only share my most valuable maps with my inner circle of subscribers. By joining, you're ensuring you get every piece of the puzzle, from this overarching guide to future deep dives into specific regions, secret hiking trails, and untouched cultures. Your support is what allows me to bypass the superficial tourism boards and bring you these genuine, earth-shattering discoveries. So bell clicked? Subscribed? Perfect. Let's begin at the only logical starting point, the raw, beautiful physics of seclusion. To find a hidden cove, you must first understand what makes it hidden. The world's most famous beaches are usually wide-open bays facing the dominant wind and wave patterns, making them easily accessible by boat and visible from the sea. Our cove defies this logic. It is a product of protection. Think of a coastline not as a straight line, but as a battlefield between land and sea over millennia, where a particularly resilient finger of rock, often volcanic basalt or ancient, hardened limestone, has thrust out into the ocean. It acts as a natural breakwater. It takes the full fury of the open ocean onto its own cliffs, sacrificing itself, if you will, to create a zone of calm in its lee. The turquoise water is not just for show. It's a scientific indicator. That brilliant color signifies an absence of suspended sediment and profound depth, close to shore, allowing the sunlight to penetrate and scatter in the pure water, reflecting the white sand bottom. The white sand itself is often not quartz, like most beaches, but pulverized coral and seashells, or, in volcanic regions, finely ground limestone. This sand has a higher albedo, meaning it reflects more light, contributing to that glowing, almost surreal luminosity. This specific combination of protective headland, a deep, spring-fed or current-swept basin, and a unique sand composition is exceedingly rare. Satellite data analysis of Caribbean, Southeast Asian, and Mediterranean coastlines shows that less than 0.3% of all coastal formations have the perfect geological prerequisites. Most are either too exposed, have murky water from river outflow, or their sand is the wrong color and texture. The first step in your quest is to think like a geologist, not a tourist. Open Google Earth, not a booking website. Look for those claw-like peninsulas, those suspiciously calm patches of baby blue water nestled against a rugged coast. You are looking for a scar on the coastline, a place where the land has embraced a tiny piece of the sea and kept it safe. This is the foundation. Without this understanding, you are just guessing. With it, you have just eliminated 99% of the world's coastline and begun your true journey. Now, with the geological blueprint in mind, the real work begins, the art of the digital hunt and the subtle decoding of human patterns. You have a potential location, a promising nook on a satellite map. The next layer is research, but of a very specific kind. Typing hidden cove country knee into a search engine is the surest way to find the places that are no longer hidden. Instead, you must become a data archaeologist. Your tools are historical maps, nautical charts, and hiking forums from 10 years ago. Start with local or National Geological Survey websites. They often have incredibly detailed topographic and coastal formation maps used for scientific study, which will show you the contours of the seafloor and the composition of the cliffs in a way a tourist map never will. A key data point is bathymetry, the depth of the water. Our ideal cove will have a steep underwater shelf. This means the deep, clear blue water comes right up to the beach, preventing the buildup of seaweed and allowing those stunning light effects. On a nautical chart, look for depth lines that are tightly packed together near the shoreline. Next, move to historical satellite imagery on Google Earth Pro. Use the timeline slider. Go back 5, 10, 15 years. Watch your spot. Does a dirt track appear and then get overgrown? Do you see the ghost of a footpath? More importantly, do you ever see more than 2 or 3 tiny boats anchored there at once? The absence of human infrastructure over time is a powerful positive signal. Now, engage in social media forensics, but backwards. On Instagram, use the location tag for the nearest town or popular beach, not the cove itself. Scroll back through posts, not from the last week, but from 2 or 3 years ago. Look for photos where the background tells a story. Someone's holiday snap might accidentally capture, in the distant haze, the distinctive shape of your headland. Read the captions in the local language using translation tools. Phrases like "we took a wrong turn" or "a local fisherman showed us our digital gold." On YouTube, search for fishing channels specific to the region. Fishermen know every inch of a coast and often film their catches with the coastline in the background. A 20-minute video of a man catching grouper might have a 3-second pan that reveals the entrance to your cove. Similarly, watch sailing vlogs of people traversing that coast. They often mention anchorages and good hiding spots from the wind. This is the unglamorous, screen time heavy legwork. It requires patience. You are piecing together a jigsaw puzzle where most of the pieces are deliberately face down. A critical, often overlooked data point is land ownership and legal access. Use local government GIS portals, if available, to check land registry information. Is the coastline part of a national park requiring a permit? Is it private agricultural land? Is it communally owned by a village? This is not a barrier, but a filter. A national park means access might be via a designated, maintained trail good. Private land means you must seek permission, which is a process, but often leads to a more exclusive experience. Communal land requires respect, understanding, and often a small, direct payment to the village elder, which is ethically the right way to visit. This research phase can take weeks, but it builds anticipation and ensures your journey is responsible and informed. You are not just looking for coordinates, you are building a context. You are learning why this place has remained secret. Perhaps the road ends 5 miles away. Maybe the sea approach is through a narrow, reef-strewn channel that discourages all but the most skilled boat captains. Or perhaps the land route involves a descent so steep and pathless that it filters out anyone not truly committed. This phase separates the dreamers from the discoverers. It is here that you must also research the practicalities, the seasonal weather patterns. That idyllic cove might be a wind tunnel in winter. The marine life, are there sea urchins, jellyfish seasons, and the availability of the most precious resource, fresh water. The final step of the digital hunt is to find the last mile guide. This is never a tour company. It is a person. It might be the owner of a small guest house in the nearest village, a retired fisherman, or a hiking guide mentioned in an obscure blog comment from 2015. Your goal is to identify, by cross-referencing names and stories, a local human being who knows the land. Do not contact them yet with demands. Simply know they exist. Your arrival, when it happens, will be the next chapter. The transition from digital detective to physical explorer is the moment of truth. You have your coordinates, your historical data, your understanding of the terrain. Now you must get there. This journey is almost never a single, simple trip. It is a multi-stage pilgrimage designed by the landscape itself to test your resolve. Let's construct a hypothetical yet completely data-based journey to a cove in a remote Mediterranean region. You will likely fly into a major airport, then take a domestic flight or a long-distance ferry to a regional hub. From there, a local bus or train will take you to a coastal town. This is your final outpost of conventional tourism. Notice how the language changes, the pace slows, the menus become less pictorial. You check into a small, family-run pension. This is where Phase 2 begins, the ground reconnaissance. On your first day, do not attempt the cove. Instead, explore the town. Visit the local market. Buy some fruit. Smile. Learn the words for hello, thank you, and beautiful. Your mission is to find two things: a source of supplies, water, simple snacks, and, more importantly, information through gentle, respectful conversation. You are not interrogating, you are connecting. You might show a printed satellite image of the general area, not circled, in red, to your guest house owner and ask, "These cliffs look magnificent. Are there any old paths for hiking along them?" You are offering admiration, not demanding secrets. The response will tell you everything. A dismissive wave might mean it's forbidden or dangerous. A thoughtful pause, followed by a story about their grandfather herding goats there, is your opening. Perhaps they mention a name, not of the cove, but of the headland that guards it. This is the human key. The next morning, you begin the journey proper. Based on your research, you know the public road ends at a small farming hamlet. You take a local taxi there early. The driver is your next source. You tell him you're a landscape photographer, which in this moment you are looking for dramatic coastal views. He might point to a ridge. You pay him, and you walk. The first mile is an easy dirt track past olive groves. Then the track fades. Your satellite map, pre-downloaded on your phone, is your guide. You are looking for the subtle signs: a pile of stones, a cairn, a break in the scrub, faint depressions in the earth that suggest footfall. The terrain steepens. The sun is higher. This is where your preparation is tested. You have ample water, sturdy shoes, and your phone in airplane mode to conserve battery. The descent to the coast is always harder than the hike-in. Gravity pulls you forward, the ground is often loose scree, and the true scale of the cliffs reveals itself. You might have to use your hands. You might have to backtrack once when a path dead ends at a drop. This is not a failure. It's the landscape asking, how much do you want this? After 2 hours of slow, careful progress, you round a jagged outcrop of rock, and then you hear it before you see it, the different sound of the waves. Not the crashing against cliffs, but the soft, rhythmic lapping of water in a contained space. You take the last few steps, your heart pounding not from exertion, but from anticipation. And there it is, not as a picture on a screen, but as a living, breathing reality. The turquoise water is even more vivid, moving and shimmering. The white sand is a blinding ribbon. The silence is a physical presence, broken only by nature's sounds. You have arrived, but the journey is only half complete. Now you must interact with this place not as a conqueror, but as a guest. The first rule is to pause. Sit. Breathe. Observe for at least 30 minutes. Where does the sun hit? Where's the shade? Are there bird nests in the cliffs? Is there a freshwater seep? This observation is critical. It attunes you to the place. Then, and only then, do you proceed with absolute mindfulness? You change into your swimwear, leave your belongings in a neat pile, well above the high tide line, and walk into the water. The cool embrace is your reward. As you float on your back, looking up at the ring of cliffs and the sky, the effort melts away. This moment of pristine, solitary connection is the entire point. It is a relic of the world as it once was, and you have earned the privilege to experience it. The experience of being in the hidden cove is a multi-sensory immersion that rewires your understanding of beauty and solitude. Let's dwell here in this moment of arrival and unpack it in detail. As you float in that turquoise water, the first thing you notice is the clarity. You can see your toes, the subtle patterns on the sand below, small fish darting like silver arrows 10 feet down. This visibility is a gift of the geological and oceanic processes we discussed, the lack of runoff, the deep, clean water pulled in by subsurface currents. Swimming here is not just recreation, it's exploration. Every stroke reveals a new detail, a smooth, water-worn stone, a patch of seagrass swaying in unison, a curious parrotfish checking you out. The acoustics of the place are unique. In an open bay, sound disperses. Here, contained by the amphitheater of rock, sound is focused yet soft. The lap of a tiny wave echoes gently. A seagull's cry overhead is amplified for a second before being swallowed by the sea breeze that rustles the hardy bushes clinging to the cliffs above. This breeze carries scents the salty tang of the sea. Yes, but also the dry, herbal aroma of the mackey or garrigue scrubland, wild thyme, rosemary, and sun-baked pine. If you brought a simple picnic, eating it here becomes a ritual. The taste of local bread, cheese, and tomato is heightened by the environment. You are not just consuming calories, you are partaking in a feast for all your senses. This is where the digital world truly dissolves. There is no signal. Your phone is a camera and a watch. Nothing more. The compulsive need to check, to share, to document fades away, replaced by a profound presence. You start to notice the micro changes in the light as the sun arcs across the narrow slot of sky above. The turquoise water shifts in hue more green near the rocks, where algae clings a deeper sapphire blue in the center where the channel is deepest. The white sand isn't just one color. It's a mosaic of broken shell, coral, and crystal, each grain glittering. This is the opportunity for a different kind of data collection, personal, experiential data. Take a mental inventory. How does this solitude feel? Not the loneliness of being ignored, but the richness of being self-contained. It's a reminder that you are enough with your own thoughts in this pristine space. This psychological reset is, for many, the true treasure. It's a cognitive cleanse, the constant noise of modern life, advertisements, notifications, traffic. The pressure to perform is scrubbed away by the elemental simplicity of sun, sea, stone, and sand. You may feel an urge to document it, and that's natural. But instead of a frantic photo shoot, be deliberate. Take 5 minutes to capture a few wide shots, a detail of the sand, a video of the water's edge. Then put the camera away. The memory your mind is forming, reinforced by smell, sound, and tactile sensation, will be far more vivid and lasting than any digital file. As the afternoon wears on, you must become a meteorologist. The sun's angle will tell you it's time to start planning your exit. You must leave with enough daylight to safely navigate the ascent. This is a non-negotiable rule. The cove that is a paradise by day can become a cold, dark, and potentially dangerous trap at night. The tide might rise, covering your exit path. The temperature will drop. This respect for the place's dual nature, its benevolent and its in different faces is crucial. So you begin the ritual of departure. You pack every single thing you brought, not just your wrapper, but even the tiny bit of foil, the fruit peel, which is not biodegradable in this ecosystem, the cap from your water bottle. You leave zero trace. You smooth the sand where you sat. You take one last, long look, imprinting it. The walk back up is physically harder but mentally lighter. You have the proof of the prize in your mind and heart. You are no longer seeking, you are returning, fulfilled. You have not just visited a location, you have passed a subtle test of patience, preparation, and respect. The journey back to the village will feel surreal, as if you are stepping through a veil back into the ordinary world. The lights of the pension will feel both welcoming and strange. You will sleep the deep, untroubled sleep of someone who has truly journeyed. You are back in the world of roads and Wi-Fi, but you are changed. The cove is now a part of your internal landscape. This final chapter is about integration, ethics, and the future. First, integration. The experience has value only if it alters your perspective moving forward, that sense of stillness you found, the clarity of mind. How can you bring a sliver of that into your daily life? Perhaps it's a commitment to daily, screen-free moments of observation. Maybe it's a newfound respect for the subtle, unadvertised beauty closer to home. The Cove proved that magic exists off the algorithm, and that truth should empower you to seek depth over breadth in all your explorations, whether they are across the world or in your own city. Now let's talk about the most critical part, ethics and secrecy. You are now a guardian of a secret. This is a sacred trust. The instinct to share this breathtaking discovery with your closest friends, with your social media followers, is powerful. You must resist it with every fiber of your being. Why? Because the moment a geotagged photo hits a popular platform, the fragile equilibrium that preserved the cove for decades shatters. A cascade begins, first the dedicated travelers like you, then the influencers looking for the next untouched backdrop, then the tour operators who see a business opportunity. A path gets formalized, trash appears. The local dynamic shifts from one of occasional, respectful visitors to a managed or worse, unmanaged tourist site. The very essence of what you loved, the solitude, the purity, the silence is destroyed permanently. Your silence is your final act of respect. So what can you do? You can share the feeling, the philosophy of the hunt, without ever revealing the location. You can talk about the process of research, the joy of discovery, the importance of leaving no trace. You can encourage others to develop their own skills of exploration. This is far more valuable than handing them coordinates. It teaches them to fish, rather than giving them a fish. Furthermore, if you made a connection with a local, the guest house owner, the taxi driver, you have a responsibility to support them discreetly. Leave a heartfelt thank you note and a generous tip. If you promise to send photos, do so. Write a positive review for their business, focusing on their hospitality in the town, not their help in finding a secret spot. You are now part of a very small, very quiet community of people who know. Act like a worthy member. Finally, let this success be a template, not a one-time event. The world is still vast. There are other hidden coves, forgotten mountain valleys, silent stretches of desert. The skills you have honed: geological analysis, historical research, social intelligence, physical preparedness, and ethical stewardship are universal. Your next exploration might be for a hidden architectural gem in a bustling city, a little-known historical archive, or a pristine alpine meadow. The principle is the same. Seek depth, prepare rigorously, respect profoundly. You are no longer a passive consumer of travel. You are an active creator of experience. This is the ultimate gift of the Hidden Cove. It gives you back your agency, your curiosity, and your sense of wonder as a default setting. It proves that adventure is not dead. It has simply retreated from the spotlight, waiting for those willing to look properly, listen carefully, and walk softly. You have joined the ranks of those who don't just see the world, but who read it, understand it, and cherish its secrets. That is a far greater trophy than any holiday souvenir. This journey doesn't have to end here. In fact, it's just the beginning. If this deep dive into the art of discovery resonated with you, I have created something special. Click the link on the screen right now to download my free comprehensive Explorer's Field Guide. It's a 50-page PDF that expands on everything we discussed today, with advanced map reading techniques, a full ethical checklist, my personal gear recommendations, and templates for respectful local interaction. It's my way of thanking you for being part of this thoughtful community of explorers. The guide is absolutely free for our subscribers. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, then click the link to get your guide instantly. Secondly, I want to hear from you. Not where you went, but how it felt. In the comments below, describe a moment of pure discovery in your own life, using only sensory details, what you saw, heard, and felt without naming the place. Let's create a library of experiences, not just locations. Finally, if this video added value to your life, pay it forward in the best way possible. Share this video with one person you believe will appreciate the message of mindful exploration. Together, we can keep the spirit of true adventure alive. Thank you for watching, for subscribing, and for exploring with intention. Until the next adventure, stay curious,